It's been in my family since I was born, so I've always been down here. And my dad's currently the chief. My grandfather was the chief, so I have some pretty big shoes to fill. It's amazing when you show up to a fire call and they're like, wow, there's actually a female firefighter on the truck. They think it's cool. They ask me how I do it and how much I get crap from people.
My officers and my lieutenants, my relationship between them, it's very tight. I can come to them with anything. They do like to pick on me, but that's what the fire service is. I try to not kind of boast it out there, but I kind of want to be treated as equal, which I am around here, which I like. That's why I like Rousing Fire Company. Some people try to be like, oh, well, you're trying to be tougher than everybody else. I'm not.
I just tell them I just push the guys around. They make fun of me and I just make fun of them back.
I think the common misconception is that we're paid and we're here as volunteers. We're volunteering our own time to train, our own time to go to fire calls. And a lot of people think when we go out, it's usually a fire. We rarely go to fires in Flowertown. We're at 358 calls still. I think we're at one for the year, one working fire for the year.
It is definitely something that you want to have to do. It's a lot of time, especially this day and age. Before, it used to be a smaller time commitment and stuff like that, but it takes a certain kind of people to want to go in and run. It's not just every day Joe Schmo off the street comes in and do it. There are people who say they're born with firefighting in their blood. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true, but it does go down the line.
It's tough. I mean, my girlfriend really doesn't like that I do this because it takes a lot of time away from it, but she understands and she, accepts that what I do is what I love to do and help other people. So it has its moments where it's tough, especially, when it's about to be dinner time and you get a fire alarm call and, you still go running out the door.
We were all sitting around here, just watching TV, playing games or whatever, and we hear it go out.
Engine 15, Tower 500, dwelling 729 East Wind Circle, Upper Dublin Township. Station 88, Engine 15, Tower 500, dwelling 729 East Wind Circle.
Now I'm sitting backwards in the truck because our trucks have backward seats, and I was on the engine at the time. We got there, and everybody's like, oh man, this fire is huge. I'm like, yeah, okay. I turn around, the fire was huge.
You trust who you're with, be able to know where we're at. Your training kicks in. Everything we practice, it helps in a situation like that.
The adrenaline, it's keeping the adrenaline in check, the pain. I mean, even doing this after 11 years, you still get that giddiness that, you hear that work of fire, you're like, oh my God. Everybody sees it as let's play with the wee-woos and all that stuff and talk on the radio, but it really doesn't come, it's really not that. Yeah, you get to play with sirens and stuff, but a lot of it is stuff's running through your brain.
It's flying 729 East Wind Circle, please run the scene, fire sign spreading to the house.
Your driver knows where he's going to a point. He doesn't know hydrants, he doesn't know different routes and stuff like that. So riding the front seat, you wanna figure out your route. You got to try to figure out where other trucks are going to be coming in, so you can get a good staging area. You want to find your nearest hydrant.
Like the book says, there's a hydrant right eastward. I don't see it, so make sure you weigh in from eastward in the cold. Okay. Maybe 300 foot, inch and 3/4 in the rear.
We have to make sure that everybody comes home safe.
Flowertown Pizza was in January. I forget the exact date, but it was, somebody told me it got down to 10 degrees that evening. I was actually laying on my couch watching the Eagles game, and we went out for a building fire, smoke in the area of 1666 Bethlehem Pike.
Springfield Township, 1664 Bethlehem Pike for a building. And we
just received another call for a lot of smoke at 1666 Bethlehem. We're going to start to confirm.
It was 3 company response right from the get-go. Kind of looked around a little bit, opened the door, and it was full of black smoke.
We got there and there was smoke just coming out the windows. We aren't really sure where the fire was at first, so we were able to get in there and start to get a knock, and we had to evacuate the building.
As soon as they pulled the ceilings, the fire went over their back. It was behind them.
The roof ended up collapsing right after we pulled everybody out. So that was definitely a big thing that happened that nobody really knew about, is it collapsed and we just got out when it collapsed.
Puts a lot of stress on me. Not only just Jake, but all the young kids that are in the fire service today. Not only do I have to watch them, I got to watch my son, make sure he gets home.
Making sure that the firemen and the guys that are there with you are okay with what's going on, seeing these issues that we see, that's always a challenge, and I'm sure for everybody the huge challenge we have is when a child is involved. That's one of the biggest things that we've that my mind goes back to every once in a while is we had a vehicle accident and a child was killed, and you do the best you can, and that you were there to do the best thing you could, and you just have to, people deal with it differently. The county does have a crisis intervention team that we've brought in here a couple times because people were having a hard time with stuff that they saw and did.
Something that stuck in my mind forever was the loss of one of our firefighters in the line of duty, Frank Wood, who also was a Springfield police officer. He was assisting on getting a lady out of a nursing home in a smoking environment. He carried her out later down and himself had a massive heart attack. That was a line of duty death. That's probably the most memorable time I've had here. It was upsetting. We had a lot of people, not a lot, we've had a few people that had to leave, but some came back just to get over it. But that was one of the things that I remember, and I'll always remember for the rest of my life.
It's very nerve-wracking having your family members that are like my father. It's very nerve-wracking to have that because even though since he's the chief now, he doesn't go inside as much, it still makes me nervous knowing that he's there, my grandfather's there. I mean, it makes me nervous, even all the older guys here. They're basically my dads, my brothers. We're all very close, so it makes me nervous. I don't want anybody getting hurt because it's hard to see when people get hurt, or that's one of my fears, is seeing other people get hurt. Now, I don't want to get hurt. None of us want to get hurt, but major fear is definitely going inside and something happening and you getting trapped. That's probably one of my biggest fears.
I'm not sure if all the victims are out. I got Bridgeport coming in to do a secondary search. Units responding, Minor Street, Northtown Borough. 9.7 heavy smoke in the front and rear of the building. According to the victim going to the hospital, you don't know where his mother's at. It's a teenage boy that jumped out of a third-floor window of a burning building. County Deputy 27, immediate upgrade. Sorry, Johnson. 27, you're going to have to lay the line. Confirmed, you have 2 ambulances en route.